right, so then we're looking ahead to the fourth round. Or the third round, rather. Oh, my gosh. The third round.
Not there yet.
We're not even halfway done with the playoffs, Craig. Give me a game or two that you are particularly interested in this week in the regional semifinals, or if you want to go six-man, it is the regional finals for them. So which maybe one or two games are you most intrigued by heading into this weekend?
Okay, I'm going to give you one that is going to raise your eyebrows only because of the presence of one of the teams in it, okay? And that's Katy Atascocita. Now, I'm not picking Atascocita to win the football game, so, don't set off the bells and alarms and whistles. What I am saying is, and again, we have history to draw on in the past, this particular weekend, the regional semifinal weekend, the Sweet 16, historically produces more upsets than the quarterfinal weekend, except in Valley Week. Down here, that's a completely different subject. But by and large, across the state, if you do the homework on it back over the years, in the state's largest classifications, if there is to be a surprise, it normally, for whatever reason, seems to come on Sweet 16 weekend. Now, who knows? Maybe some of that had to do with the fact that in most of the years, that's on Thanksgiving weekend. I don't know that has anything to do with it at all. The calendar's 1 week later. We pointed that out many times. So it may not matter at all, no matter when it was played. The third round of the playoffs could be played in August, and it might not make any difference. But I don't know why it is. I don't know what the basis for it is. Maybe injuries have had things to do with it in the past. But if there is one, and I'm only saying this because I'm looking at the bracket. By the time you get to the state semifinals for sure, and maybe to the quarters, but especially the semis, it's rare to really look at them as big-time upsets because those teams, it's a grueling fight together. Todd Dodge was in studio today with me, and he was talking about how, that he thinks that in football, no matter what level you're talking about, pro football, college, high school, he thinks high school is the toughest to win a championship because you have to win 6 elimination games, sometimes 7 if you got to win one to get into the playoffs. So that sort of thing. So. I'm not saying they're necessarily going to lose the game. I'm saying that if there is going to be an upset of Katy, it would come at this level, and Atascocita is equipped to do it, but I don't know that they will do it. That's one I'm watching. You asked me one that I'm intrigued by. The other is Melissa and Gilmer, because we love to use the words "fly under the radar," and in the case of Melissa, there was no radar up there in far northern Collin County, where they were concerned. There was no radar there. People weren't paying attention to them, and that's not necessarily a fault of those not paying attention. It was mainly because of the power in the region. And we're used to talking about Gilmer being, Gilmer, what they are in terms of being that legitimate contender. They've shown a chink or two in the armor this year. We know that, especially defensively. And Melissa has enough of an offense to make it a real interesting game. Those two probably stand out to me as much as any others.
Yeah, this Melissa team kind of reminds me of that team that won a title in 2011. Remember where they were kind of out of nowhere, and then they end up kind of soaring to a playoff, to a state championship game and toppling Hempstead in that 2011 2A D1 title game. So I think you're exactly right. I think Gilmer and Melissa is one of those games that there are some headliner games. I think Cedar Park and Manville is a game everybody's got their eye on. I think Allen and Arlington Martin. I agree with you on Atascocita and Katy. I think that Atascocita is flying way under the radar ever since they made that quarterback change. But I think you're exactly right. Those are teams that I have my eye on.